Good afternoon, namaste. My name's Julie Kelly. Most of you will have seen me over on YouTube in my relaxation and meditation clips. Many of you will have listened to my podcasts, and some of you will have attended my teachings and sessions over on Zoom. Now, today, what I want to talk about is suffering and the reasons why suffering often occurs. And in Tibetan Buddhism, we realise that there are three main root causes to suffering. Now, everything has a root cause and an effect, but the three root causes of suffering are ignorance, hatred or anger, and greed. Now, we can kind of understand ignorance because if we don't know what's causing our suffering, then we keep repeating the cycle and running on the same treadmill. But anger tends to come with a lot of people when we're dissatisfied with life, or when we have so much emotion boiling within us that it overspills. You know, anger's a really destructive emotion. And we call that anger or hatred. The two are equally as destructive. And greed, the root cause, greed, comes from when we are making ourselves angry or when we are so competitive because we are constantly running, constantly chasing something that we think is going to make us happy. But that happiness is impermanent. So for example, you know, you have the iPhone and you love it and it's really serving its purpose. And then your friend or a neighbour gets the latest one and there's all these different gadgets on it and you want that iPhone. And so you're chasing that one. The one that you've got's perfectly fine, but the one that you're chasing is the one that you want because you know it's going to make you happy. And so if you're fortunate enough, you get the iPhone and it does make you happy till the next model comes out, and then you're chasing that one. And it's the same with everything. It's the same with money, it's the same with people, it's the same with trying to create a beautiful body, getting plastic surgery to keep hold of youth. Nothing is permanent, but that greed keeps us chasing. Now, one of the biggest causes of unhappiness that covers all of those three things, I believe, is alignment. Many of us are misaligned, and I've found this through my healing work and people who come to see me. Most of us inside are very different people than the lifestyle that we portray. You know, deep within us we have skills, we have knowledge, we have wisdom. Buddhists believe these things come from past lives and they're brought with us subtly from lifetime to lifetime. But whatever you believe, we all have these traits within us that if we were left to our own devices, we could become who we want to be and blossom with those skills, with that knowledge and that beauty, doing the things we want to do. But instead what happens, the environment and the economy catch up with us. So we end up working in jobs where we're working 24 hours sometimes. If not that, we're working lots of hours, where we're constantly chasing meeting targets and deadlines. And we're told that if we don't meet these targets and deadlines, that there'll be consequences, because a deadline means at the end of that something will happen. And so we run and we chase to meet these things because we need a job. We need to make money because we need to pay the rent or the mortgage, we need to eat. And so our whole life becomes one great big mishmash of running and chasing again, as we mentioned before. Going back to greed. Running and chasing and the stress of meeting targets and deadlines. Now, we're doing that because the managers that are above us their neck is on the line, because if they don't get these targets hit, then their jobs are at risk. So it's like one mechanical conveyor belt, but it's nothing like what's really going on within us. So today I want to talk about alignment, because the reason why most of us are unhappy is because we are misaligned with our lifestyle and the life we live to what's actually going on with us as human beings. So what can we do about it? Well, there is a type of meditation that I call analysis meditation. It's like an analysing type of meditation. Now, for most people who are familiar with meditation, you'll know it's mostly about being with the breath and just relaxing and letting the thoughts just be. But with analysis meditation, it's kind of being aware, paying attention to how the body feels, to all the different sensations that are going on within the body, and really listening to our inner self, really listening to that inner voice within us, you know, that part of us which is telling us, giving us the message of what we need to be doing. And it's really there. You know, the gut feeling that we have. People say, well, your gut feeling's always right. When we actually sit quietly with ourselves and look inwards, we can hear inner voices, inner spiritual messages that just tell us where we need to be and what we need to do. How many times when you've been in a turmoil over something, have you been told to just go away and sleep on it? Well, when we actually relax into meditation, it's kind of like a sleep state. The mind is awake, but we're kind of asleep and relaxed. And in that time, in that space, we can receive so many messages. And then, when you've taken that space to really think about and analyse what's going on within your body and mind, then it's time to maybe look at how you can go about changing that. Now, my story is I was a social worker for over 20 years, and I loved my job. I loved everything about it. It was hard, but I loved everything about it. And one day I woke up and I just knew that I didn't want to be sitting at a computer for another 20 years. And so pretty much overnight, I handed in my resignation. I didn't have a lot of savings. I only had a month's wage, but that was quite a lot because I was on a full-time wage. And I decided that I was going to go to India. And that's exactly what I did. I gave my job up and I went to India. And whilst I was in India, lots of life-changing experiences happened. And some of those experiences made me realise that I didn't need the amount of things that I had. I didn't need the amount of belongings that I had. I didn't need all the luxuries that I had. I stayed in rooms with just a sink, a bed, a cupboard for my clothes, and that was it. And I went out when it was light and came back when it was dark. I didn't really need a clock. And so when I came back, of course that's really basic, people don't want to live like that. But when I came back, I was actually downsizing my life. I took a smaller place, I reduced my hours of work, I took a different kind of work, I earned less money, and all of my friends were looking for bigger jobs with more money, bigger houses, bigger cars. And it was really strange to them. They couldn't understand why I was downsizing when they were upsizing, if you like. And what that did for me, it really taught me that to be happy, you need to have the things that you need, not necessarily the things that you want. They're bonuses. But if we have the things that we need to keep us happy, then that's all anybody needs. That is the way that we find true happiness. As long as we can survive, anything extra we can share. And sharing brings true happiness. So when we talk about alignment, we're talking about readjusting our life with the person that we are, and not the person that society tries to make us become. And there are lots of ways in which we can do that. I'm not saying that you have to go out and give up your full-time job, because people have got mortgages to pay, they've got bills to pay. But it's always good to reassess exactly what you need to live. And when you've achieved that, there's always room to reduce and to rebalance. And that gives us a healthier, happier lifestyle. So that's my lesson and my teaching for today. I hope it's been of benefit. I really, really hope that one person listens to this and really does rebalance their life. I'd love to hear your feedback. Please get in touch with me at juliekellymail@gmail.com. That's juliekellymail@gmail.com. You can also check out my website. Again, it's www.juliekelly.co.uk, and that's Clear Mind Revolution. You can catch me over on YouTube at Mind Medicine Julie Kelly, or over on Facebook at Tenzin Dasal Julie Kelly. Namaste.